So you have a story on Jaxson Dart coming out the day that everybody's listening to this. And here's what you said. Seemingly every big play Jaxson Dart has made this past week has come from matching his mind to his physical tools. And I think that's a big reason why Brian Daboll loves the growth he is seeing from the rookie quarterback. He makes it look routine. So tell me some more about Jaxson Dart.
Well, there are three plays that, I mean, we've seen his presence in the pocket, his pocket awareness is really a big part of his game that you don't know until you see the guy out there on the field, right? I mean, now, granted, I admit this, we all know the quarterback play that we've seen from the Giants. It's not about piling on Daniel Jones or who they've had beyond him. Even go back to Tyrod Taylor when everyone wanted to talk about Tyrod and how Tyrod was so much better than Daniel and everything else. Tyrod was a one-read guy too. It was throw the guy that, run Slayton deep, run Hyatt deep, and Tyrod will hit him. I think the way Jaxson Dart plays the game, and again, it's not necessarily with the first team. I'll give you three plays. Number one was the end of the red zone period against the Jets on day one, when Zach Pascal is going to get all the attention for that catch that he made in the end zone. Kind of juggled it, corralled it, completed it, put both feet down. Dart knew the read, knew it was going to be there, and put the ball exactly where it needed to be, on a back shoulder, out of bounds. The only player who can get it was Pascal, and he knew that. He knew that when you broke the huddle, and he knew that if it was open, he was going to take it. After that play, Daboll was fired up, just pointing at Jaxson Dart, and I actually said this on my own podcast. It was almost like Analyze This. It was the Robert De Niro meme of you. Like, Daboll saw it, he knew it, and that was where his focus was. It wasn't that he wasn't going to not celebrate Pascal, because it was a great catch, but ultimately that catch doesn't get made if Dart doesn't put that ball exactly where it was. And then two more. He had the touchdown pass to Bo Collins, and after the game, after the practice, he basically admitted, look, when I got to the line of scrimmage, it was a one side, one throw read on both sidelines. That's the way Dart, I think he talked about it, because he had a receiver he thought was going to be singled up on the left. He had a receiver who he thought was going to be singled up on the right. And it was basically going to be a look at me, check with me when he got to the line of scrimmage. And he checked to the right and the play wasn't there. So he knew it was going to end up being a scramble. So he gave it a chance. He scrambled a little bit to the right. And then he kind of gave one of those, pointing to the end zone to Bo Collins, and still looking up with the vision down the field, and Bo Collins broke for the end zone, and he hit him wide open. The Jets didn't stick with the coverage, and he scored on that. And then the last one that I had heard this after the fact, which I didn't realize, but in his touchdown pass in the game against Buffalo, when he got to the line of scrimmage, it was an alert. And his alert was to little Jordan Humphrey, that he knew he looked at the safety, and that was Damar Hamlin, and he was too far over in the middle, so he wouldn't be able to close the gap. And he knew he had little Jordan Humphrey on a go route, and he basically alerted him, and Humphrey knew, and he took the go ball. And then obviously Jaxson Dart not only takes the hit from TJ Sanders, but put the ball exactly where it needed to be, 29 yards and a touchdown. So I think the point of all this is just, to me, the idea is that you think about Daniel Jones, his high points here as a Giant, and there were all about his athleticism. It was all about him running the football. What could he do to kind of make plays when they weren't there? And last year, all it was about was he was missing these reads. And you go back, the final nail in, I think, Daniel Jones's career here was the flea flicker in Germany, that you had two reads, and he just basically took the sack on a flea flicker. Mm-hmm. So for me, what I like most about Jaxson Dart is that he seems like he's in sync with his receivers, with his reads. And I asked Daboll about that on his conference call, and he just basically said, look, if you have vision, if you're a quarterback that can read the defense, and that's not easy, he said, you can make big plays because you know what's coming. You can see it before it happens. And I know it's still too soon. And Jaxson Dart, who knows? In 2 weeks, he'll be standing on the sidelines holding a clipboard. For how long, who knows? But I think that's kind of the genesis of my story today, looking at Jaxson Dart going into Saturday night is that's what I like most about his game right now. Yeah, you could talk about how, he's got some juice in his arm. He's athletic. He loves to take off and run, that scramble he had in the preseason game. He's got some moxie. Daboll's used that word a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's his mind. I think he's smart. And you go back to pre-draft, Justin, that's why they wanted Jaxson Dart.
Yeah.
That's why Shedeur Sanders fell off of their radar and maybe even was taken off their board, is because it's not because Shedeur Sanders is dumb. That's not the point. The point is that to run this offense, Daboll wanted a quarterback that can read it, see it, and throw it.
Yeah.
And I think Dart blew them out of the water when it came to those tests in the pre-draft process.